Prime Minister Modi is all set to embark upon a journey to Japan. That's going to be starting tomorrow to the 30th. It's a two-day visit. This is his 8th visit to the country, and along with his Japanese counterparts. So we're talking about the Prime Minister there holding the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit. That's going to take place on Friday. The two Prime Ministers will review the special strategic and global partnership between the two nations, which obviously does include defense and security, but it also includes technology, innovation, trade, as well as economy, and also includes people-to-people exchanges as well. So there's a lot on the agenda. Let's just get you some of the reactions coming in.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your time, Ambassador, on a day when the Prime Minister departs for Japan. Your first words on this very important visit. Prime Minister Modi has made no secret of his deep affection for Japan. His relationship with Japan is something that he's been very proud of. How important is this visit, sir?
This is a very important visit. India and Japan, we have excellent relationship in every field. We have, of course, we both are civilizational countries. We have a civilizational connect. You go to any corner of this country, you will see an India connect everywhere. And in fact, in the last 10 years, you have seen that after India and Japan agreed to have the special strategic and global partnership, agreed by Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi and then Prime Minister Mr. Abe, our relationship continued to grow. In fact, this annual summit is very important, gives us an opportunity to review, undertake a full review of the last 10 years progress we made in our relationship and see how do we take it to new levels of partnership. A roadmap will be announced, which will showcase how we can take it forward to new levels of partnership.
Ambassador George, the business relationship, the investment relationship between India and Japan is a very important one. One that the Indian side gives a great deal of importance to. So does the Japanese. Can you give us a preview? There are many business and investment related agenda items on the Prime Minister's visit this time. Anything you can share with us on what we can look forward to?
See, in fact, Japan has been a very reliable partner for our economic engagement. You have seen Honorable Prime Minister inaugurated the new electric vehicles factory of Suzuki. In fact, Suzuki came to India some 40 years back and transformed India's automobile sector. You see that Japanese engagement has been there in the economic sector for several decades. Yeah. But now we see a new momentum in that. There are 1,500 Japanese companies in India. There are 5,000 Japanese establishments in India. These are 1,500 success stories. And if we can make these 1,500 success stories into 15,000 success stories, Japan would be able to reclaim its #2 largest economy in the world. That is the kind of opportunity that India offers. India is a land of billion opportunities, and there is a realization in Japan. There is an acknowledgement in Japan of that growing India's economy. 6.5 to 7% growth in the last 20 years. In another 20 years, we grow like that. In that Amritkal journey, when we become Amritkal journey, when we become a developed country by 2047, Japan is a reliable partner, and you will see that in the forthcoming visit. There would be clear roadmap to achieve that target.
Right. Of course, what does this really mean for India, particularly this very crucial visit of the Prime Minister to Japan? And do remember, after this visit, the Prime Minister is also going to be heading to China, his first in 7 years. But, his visit to Japan basically is the 8th visit to the country. And, of course, there's a lot on the agenda. What does this really, mean? Of course, we have my colleague Disha joining us in order to break it down for us. A very crucial visit. It's a two-day visit, before Prime Minister Modi heads to China. Take us through all that's going to be taking place between him and the leader of Japan.
Right. So there's quite a few key pillars of this crucial India-Japan relationship or even friendship. So first things first is the infrastructure and the bullet train project, which is one of the very key points of this relationship. This relationship has been crucial in India's development of not just the transportation hubs, whether it's the metro lines in Delhi, in Mumbai, but also the network infrastructure across the country. highways, electricity hubs. Until now, Japan has in fact extended over 40 billion in development assistance loans to India for various projects. Moreover, India is also, as I mentioned, set to debut its first bullet train project by 2030, and this will also use Japan's latest high-speed trains, the bullet trains on the Mumbai-Ahmedabad route. And even in Japan, Prime Minister Modi and the Japanese Prime Minister are set to, in fact, ride on a bullet train ahead of that India-Japan crucial meeting. So next, the next crucial pillar of this relationship is, of course, the defense and maritime security. Both India and Japan are Quad allies, and which is an alliance with the US and Australia, and they're also very close defense allies. They hold joint drills. In fact, under the Unicorn Mars Agreement, New Delhi and Tokyo also work together for defense tech, whether it's radar systems, anti-submarine warfare, maritime security regarding equipment, fighter jet collaboration, and they're also, as I mentioned, routinely holding joint military exercises. Another crucial aspect and pillar of this relationship is the Indo-Pacific strategy. Now, both India and Japan, at a time of growing Chinese aggression, have been constantly holding naval drills, enhancing that very important Indo-Pacific security cooperation, and even working towards aligned defense policy alignment, and also coordinating efforts to maintain, as they call it, a free and open Indo-Pacific without Chinese aggression. And lastly, the fourth pillar of this relationship is, in fact, technology and clean energy. Now, semiconductors and critical minerals have remained a very important part of this relationship, and in fact, in this visit, the 8th visit by the Prime Minister, both countries are also expected to, as I mentioned, travel to the city of Sendai, which is a city known for its semiconductor prowess. So they're also expected to launch a very important economic security initiative, which is going to be based on semiconductors and artificial intelligence, as well as critical minerals, really the future of India's growth journey. And they're also expected to start a digital partnership, again, focused on semiconductors and AI. While the past, India and Japan have been focusing on infrastructure, on bullet trains, now the future of this relationship is really going to be about semiconductors and artificial intelligence. Now let's quickly look at why Japan, in fact, matters to India so much. This relationship, as I've constantly been mentioning, is a very significant one. I mentioned about the development aid, but even in FDIs, Japan is the 5th largest source of India's FDI, exceeding 43 billion in the last 2 decades. Next, of course, is the bullet train project, as I mentioned, which is going to be launched by 2030. Japan has been funding 81% of this project, has invested 17 billion. So this project is one of the key points which is why Japan really matters to New Delhi. And then we have, of course, the strategic balancing vis-a-vis China, because as I mentioned, India and Japan are crucial Quad allies and are constantly working on ensuring that the Indo-Pacific remains a free and open space. And lastly, as I mentioned, technology and innovation. Japan is a very important partner for India's future in semiconductors and artificial intelligence. So a really, really important visit, Divya.